Hi there, everybody. This is Mark, and this is my video on getting a 7 or higher on the IELTS Writing Task 2 essay. Now, in this one, we'll be focusing on the introduction only. I just thought I'd have one short video to deal with this, and then we will talk about writing body paragraphs a little bit later. Now, I know you like to see who's talking, and that's me right there. I'm actually giving a presentation on how to teach writing to other teachers. Anyway, we'll get rid of that for now. But yes, today we'll just be looking at the introduction, and we'll be focused on the type of question that asks you to deal with cause and effect, or cause solution, or effect solution essays for the IELTS test. So we're just looking at this one kind, just so I can get some basic ideas across to you. Again, what we look at today is going to help you get a 7 or higher. If you have your test tomorrow, that might not be the best strategy, but if you've got a few weeks or even a few months to practice, these are the techniques that I use in my class, and I have students getting 7.5s in their writing sometimes. Again, if you're at a 6 or a 6.5 even, and you're trying to get to a 7 or an 8, this video is really going to help you. If you're at a 4 or a 5, this will still help you, but it's going to take a little bit more time. You'll understand as you keep watching. So I've just taken this question from an IELTS website on the internet. Global warming is one of the most serious issues that the world is facing today. All right? Global warming is a problem. What are the causes of global warming, and what measures can governments and individuals take to tackle the issue? So they want the cause, and they want solutions. All right? Cause, solution. That's all they want you to talk about here. I remember years ago, a student of mine was complaining about the IELTS test, and he said, they asked me my opinion about global warming, and I didn't know anything about it. So this is actually the first thing you need to do. If you're ever practicing for IELTS or any kind of writing activity, if you don't know the topic, well, learn about it. If you read a text for IELTS and you don't know about it, learn about it. That is the first thing I'm going to tell you to do. Is learn. All right? It's a lot easier to answer this question if you know something about it. And again, remember, you are trying to get a 7 or an 8 in this test. You need to know things. A lot of classes focus on, grammar and paragraphs, and that's important. But in my classes, we spend a lot of time learning, watching videos, reading texts, and most importantly, talking about these things. It's a wonderful thing. We spend all week doing listenings and readings about the topic, and then when my students want to write, they have these wonderful essays because they have ideas. I'll put a link. I have a video on how to use TED Talks to improve listening. On this topic here, these are two fantastic TED Talks. This one here is about Uber and, the impact of their company and how they're trying to reduce pollution by reducing cars on the road. Now, Uber's not a perfect company, but you get some interesting ideas here. This one, perfect for this topic. It talks exactly about the cause, effect, and solution. This is Al Gore, and he does a fantastic talk about the good things that are happening today to solve the problem of climate change. I'll put a link, so please have a look at those. Second, organize the ideas. Look at my video on how to use a TED Talk effectively. That will explain that. I would recommend you all look at my listening video to help improve not just your listening skills, but your writing and speaking. Remember, it's not always your language, it's your ideas, especially if you're trying to get a 7, 8, or even a 9. Now, you watch the videos and you decide, all right, what are the causes? Burning fossil fuels, easy one, right? That puts CO2 in the air. From the Uber video, you might think, okay, well, private car ownership, that's a problem, right? Uber is a company that is reducing the need for individuals to own a car. Last one, deforestation, cutting down trees. Now, this text only asks for causes and solutions, but I would recommend think about the effects as well. This is going to help you write your introduction or possibly your conclusion. Now, I'll show you how this information is important in the next few minutes here. So the effect, well, again, if you have taken the time to learn, superstorms, record rainfall in cities, all right? It's not just that the world is getting hotter, but our storms are getting stronger. Typhoons, hurricanes, and even rain is different. And you can link that one nicely to burning fossil fuels, all that extra energy in the air. Private car ownership, quite nicely connected to increased CO2, carbon dioxide emissions. Again, if you don't know what CO2 is or carbon dioxide, right, it's not a language problem, it's an idea problem. You need to learn more. And another effect, soil erosion, which leads to CO2. Solutions, again, just ideas I've learned from reading a lot and listening. Investing in clean energy. All right, so that's a clear one for dealing with fossil fuels. Improve clean energy. Al Gore talks about that one a lot. Also, the government can encourage ride sharing. So that's a key point. Governments can do this. They can either regulate, they can do government work, or they can educate, and they can encourage people to use companies like Uber. That works in some cities, but not in others. And finally, what can people do? Easy. They can consume less, recycle, use less paper products. Again, all ideas. This one's more just off the top of my head. But again, good ideas, find them, read. TED Talks are fantastic. They have all sorts of information. Now, let's move on to the strategy for an introduction. All right. There's a lot of ways you can start your essay. My general advice to my students is either say something is a problem or something is important. Now, with global warming, we know it's a problem. So we start off nice and simple. Global warming is a serious problem. Yeah, of course, you can use more advanced vocabulary. That's fine. Use vocabulary you're comfortable with, but this introduces it perfectly. Now, here's the problem that all my students have when they start the class. They'll say this, and then they'll leave it. Global warming is a serious problem. Now, if you're trying to get that score in IELTS, if you're trying to get a 7 or 8, you must extend your ideas. You can't just say something and then move on. A lot of writing teachers actually don't even cover this. If you're going to say something like it's a problem, explain why it's a problem. Now, this is why I said to think about the effects too, because that's going to explain why it's a problem. It has led to severe changes to our ecosystem, causing superstorms, which put lives at risk, and have a major disruptive effect on our economy. All right? So this is really the most important thing. This is the most important thing in writing. Don't just say something and leave it there. Explain it. This right here is how you're going to get a 7. If you learn one thing from this video, extend it, extend it, extend it. And effect is a wonderful way to extend an idea. We'll talk about that more in the next video. Now, a lot of teachers will then teach their students. This essay will look at the causes and offer some solutions. That's fine. A little bit better. Again, a technique that I prefer to go with. Right, you're addressing the questions, and then you're writing your thesis. So that's the main thing. You've already done this part. Now we move here. Address the question or put your thesis. Now, in this one, you don't have to have a position, but what you are going to do is provide a map. That means you're going to tell me what you're going to tell me. Two main causes of this, again, this is the magic word right here. The two main causes of this are the burning of fossil fuels, 1, and deforestation, 2. Okay? I have not said the two main causes, just two main causes. All right? Very simple. Again, now I have a map. And when I'm reading your text, I know what you're going to talk about next, and it's organized, and there's more cohesion. Next, however, there are ways to solve this problem. Investing in clean energy and reducing our consumption. Keep it short. And of course, little grammar point here, investing, reducing. All right, so it's really important here that you just keep it simple. Don't try to overcomplicate the first paragraph with complex grammar. Do not try to do that, and we'll talk about that more in body paragraphs. Again, nice and simple. If you want to make it a bit fancy, that's fine. It has led to, right, global warming. And this is the other important thing here. Global warming, it. Two main causes of this. These are the most important things when connecting your ideas. You can say, first of all, last, secondly, all you want. But if you're going for a higher score, it does not matter. Especially for 8 and 9, they don't care if you're using furthermore, however. They're really not looking at that. They're really looking at just if the sentences connect logically, and these are two ways that you're going to connect them. All right, so those are very important words. Again, nothing wrong with furthermore and for example, but really this is what you want to be focused on. Now, just remember one last thing with your introduction. You just said fossil fuels and deforestation. All right, so 1, burning fossil fuels. So when you're writing your body paragraph, obviously the first thing you talk about is burning fossil fuels. For your next paragraph, deforestation. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you could put that into one paragraph, that's up to you. But keep it nice and simple. Fossil fuels put trillions of tons of CO2 into the air every day. Now, trillions might be a bit high, maybe it's billions, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Now the point here too, simple first sentence. No if, no because, no due to. Just a simple subject, verb, object. All right? Same here. Deforestation adds to the excess CO2. So again, subject, verb. Keep it simple. No if, no which, no that. If that first sentence in your body paragraph is unclear, it can really negatively affect the whole paragraph. And that's one of the biggest problems I used to see when I was an examiner, was that, the first sentence was just not clear, so the whole paragraph dies. You will not get a 7 if your paragraphs are unclear and the paragraphs are clear from the first sentence. Anyway, then you go on to solutions in your other body paragraphs. Invest in green energy. Another solution is reduce consumption. We'll talk about this more in the video on body paragraphs. Anyway, that's the main thing I've said. Just a quick review. First of all, learn. All right, if you're trying to get a high score, you need to know your stuff. The more you know, the easier new vocabulary will stay, the easier you will learn better grammar. Just learn things, all right? You want to have an opinion. This is going to help your speaking and your writing. Avoid cliches. Now, I do say that. Keep it simple. Do not say something like global warming is controversial unless you can explain why it's controversial. Okay, and to be honest, okay, maybe global warming, you could say it's controversial, but a lot of times I see students write, oh, education is controversial and, business is controversial. Don't use the word unless you're going to explain it. Again, problem is fine. Be clear in the beginning. That's the main point I give for your body paragraphs. And really the most important thing is practice, practice, practice. All right, we will talk more about how to write excellent body paragraphs in the next video. But as I said, that's your introduction. I hope you found this helpful. Please like and leave any comments in the comment section if you need to. Have a good day.